it's Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl and pop culture nerd and wannabe Jedi, of course, saying hello from cloudy, rainy Michigan. We're finally getting rain after like having a summer with like no rain whatsoever, so it's really nice and hopefully we'll cool it down just a little bit. Anyway, I'm back. I was in Lansing on Sunday. I had an awesome time. I spent most of the day with my mom, my brother. My dad got a little sick, so he wasn't able to do a lot. But we went to this place called Potter Park Zoo, which is this awesome zoo. And like John Ball Zoo, it's in a park. Oh, there's thunder. It's really cool. It's not too big. It's not too small. They have lots of animals ranging from meerkats to abandoned mongooses to lions to tigers. They've got baboons and spider monkeys, donkeys, goats, kangaroos, a porcupine, a rhino, a black rhino, which is so awesome to see. They've got otters and moose and donkeys and my favorite monkeys, cotton top and golden lions. They've got the Michigan rattler, which is the only venomous snake in Michigan, and a blue jay and ravens. And my mom laughed at me because in the amphibian bird house they actually had a little exhibit of bats. I love bats. Oh my gosh, I like all animals, but there are some I absolutely love. I love bats. They are so awesome. I love bats, and I love otters, and I like golden lion and cotton top tammers, and I like lemurs, and I like tigers. My mom was beyond thrilled because she got to pet donkeys, which are her favorite animals. So my mom went through the entire day like, yeah, I got to pet donkeys, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I saw my monkeys. I'm like, I got to see my monkeys. We actually came home, and then that afternoon we went to Walmart. And my mom we were talking to some of my mom's friends, and I said, I wish I had just been left at the zoo. And my mom's friends thought I was joking. How I wish my parents would have just left me behind at the zoo. And my mom looks to her friends and goes, no, she's serious. When I was younger, my parents had to keep an extra close eye on me when we went to zoos because if they weren't watching me, I would take off in a heartbeat and try to figure out a way that I could live at the zoo. Because I just wanted to stay with the animals. So it was fun. It was nice. Like I said, unfortunately my dad got sick, so he didn't really spend a lot of time with us. But I had a great time with my mom and my brother. So it was fun. Definitely, if you're in Michigan, go check out Potter Park Zoo in Lansing. Looks like... unfortunately, we didn't get to go to the Historical Museum, which is where we sometimes go after going to the zoo. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that. My mom says we're going to do that another time. Our next family vacation or daycation is going to be next month, it looks like, and we're planning on going down to Frankenmuth to Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and believe me, you will understand that come November, December when I start going Christmas banana cuckoo crazy. It's my absolutely favorite holiday, my absolutely favorite place to shop. It's a store called Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. It is the world's largest Christmas store. It is like the size of 4 football fields. And the actual store itself is not even the biggest part of it. The biggest part is devoted to like where they make the ornaments and ship the ornaments. And like the majority of their employees speak German. It's so freaking awesome. I love Bronner's and I love Frankenmuth and I can't wait to go. So when we get planning to go, you guys will get to come along with me in a way. If you guys are interested in seeing what Potter Park Zoo is like, I did post a video Sunday, I believe, with some pictures and footage I took. I tried adding music. I'm not sure how I added it to like one part, but I think I need to work on editing my videos a little bit more. My goal is to make this a very kind of polished, as professional as I can get it to look. Not quite there yet, but I am working on it, I promise. Anyway, enough about my family fun and adventures. It's time to get on to the pop culture headlines that I've spotted over the week. First up, let's hit up Criminal Minds. Yeah, that show. Now, last week I told you guys how Thomas Gibson, the guy who plays Aaron Hotchner, has been fired from the show after receiving a 2-day suspension for kicking a producer over creative differences. Well, come to find out, this isn't the first incident Gibson has caused on the set of Criminal Minds. In fact, a few years ago, he actually had to go through anger management classes after another kind of violent confrontation with another producer. And former show star Shamar Moore, aka Derek Morgan, actually went on his Instagram page and posted a video or something where he said Thomas got what he deserved. Apparently, Shamar and Thomas did not get along at all on the set of Criminal Minds. In fact, according to rumors, Thomas Gibson was kind of standoffish and mean to the producers, the people who worked on the show, even other cast members. Well, that's kind of in line. Criminal Minds has not had a fairy tale relationship with cast and crew. Mandy Patinkin, one of the original members of Criminal Minds, aka Jason Gideon, was on the show for only about 2.5 seasons before one day deciding not to show up to work. He never gave really a reason about why he randomly chose to leave the show in the middle of the 3rd season. Thankfully, this got producers to catch Joe Mantegna, aka everybody's favorite Italian, David Rossi, who my mom absolutely has a crush on, and who I think would be the coolest dad in the universe. Which I think David Rossi coming on the show made the show so much better. And as my mom says, the only character that can keep that crew together on Criminal Minds would be Rossi. He has the experience and the connections and the emotional bonds with the remaining characters. Of course, it's also sad to point out that Rossi is not one of the original characters. The only three remaining are JJ, Reed, and Garcia. So I've talked to another Criminal Minds fan this past week, and my mom, and I all have the same opinion that sadly we think season 12 is going to be the last season. And of course, they're actually not done filming it, so they have to scramble to finish a good chunk of season 12 with Hotch gone. And a couple of fans have been saying, and there are really two different opinions of how to write Hotch off the show. One is to have him be killed off, and the other is simply to have him retire and go spend more time with Jack, his kid. I'm not sure which way the producers are going to go. I think it'd be kind of mean to kill Hotch off as punishment for Gibson doing what he did. Having him leave to go stay with his son, that would be more in line with what characters have done. When they wrote Elle left because she couldn't handle the pressure, Gideon left after what happened with Frank, and he just really didn't feel that love for his job anymore. JJ left at one point, but she got a job with the State Department, came back. Prentice left to go pursue a career with Interpol. And more recently, Morgan left because, hey, he's got a kid now. So it'd really be more in line to have Hotch's write-off being that he retired to go spend more time with Jack. So, I don't know. How do you guys think they should write Hotch off the show? Should Hotch go down in a blaze of glory? Or should he simply quietly retire to go spend more time with his family? Let me know in the comments below. Okay. This should be a pretty short video today. I talked about the... Okay. On to Disney news. Mouse Steps Weekly posted a video on YouTube showing that the streets of America are finally coming down at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Not surprising news for those of us in the know. The Streets of America and Backlot Tour were dismantled and taken down to make way for 2 new lands at the Hollywood Studios. This includes these 2 lands are hotly anticipated and include Pixar Play Place and my personal favorite, which I am so excited about and can't wait for it to open, Star Wars Land! I'm really excited about that one. Pixar looks pretty cool. But my goal is I'm going to save up as much money as I can because I want to go down to Disney World when Star Wars Land opens up. I want to go try out the new rides, one of which includes you flying the Millennium Falcon. Oh my gosh, I could just die happy if I did that. Anyway, so officially they have begun dismantling the Streets of America to make room for Star Wars Land. Now, it looks like Star Wars Land won't be completed till at least 2020, though I have heard some estimates a little bit sooner. But that is being said, Disney does have a reputation for sometimes getting stuff done late or early, not really on time, but hopefully Star Wars Land will open within a few years, maybe just 1 year, 2 maybe. They are also working at the same time on the Avatar-themed land in Animal Kingdom. I'm still not sure how that's going to turn out. They're apparently working really good on it, but I don't know. I don't really think, though, when they first announced Avatar Land going to Animal Kingdom, that kind of shocked me. I would have thought that would have been more suited for Epcot in terms of its science fiction, it's about space travel and saving the environment and another culture, or the Hollywood studio since it is a movie. But maybe, the more I think about it, maybe the whole world of Avatar does kind of fit in with Animal Kingdom. We'll just have to wait and see how they work on it. But yeah. Also, in other news, surprisingly, Disney recently censored the video that airs while you're waiting to get on board Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith because of a gesture Steven Tyler did in the video. Let me pull up the article. According to DailyNewsInter.com, Steven Tyler was doing a shocking hand gesture, and they censored it 17 years after this clip started airing, which was when the ride opened. It's really kind of hard to believe that Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith has been running for 17 years. But I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. Star Tours is older. Steven Tyler went to Facebook and said, quote, "Well, now I'm in shock. You know I would own up to this doozy. Way to give me the finger now, Walt Disney World. 17 years later. See you next week. Here's to the greatest ride at Disney." Apparently, the inappropriate gesture was the middle finger, and Disney has since censored the videos with him holding up the 4 fingers instead of the 1. So, yeah, that's a good question. How the heck did Disney not see that? I mean, wouldn't people have complained about that? I mean, as it says, this video has been part of the attraction for 17 years since the ride opened. So millions of people have probably seen that video and have seen that gesture. Why wouldn't there have been complaints if people really were watching it? I mean, let's be honest. I've never been to Disney World, but for those of you who do go to Disney World, do you actually really watch the videos while you're waiting in line? I mean, they're kind of cool entertainment, but do you really pay attention to them? I mean, if I was waiting in line to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, which I will never go on that ride, I don't like going upside down, I wouldn't probably really notice the rude hand gesture because I'm not watching for it. And even if I was, it's Aerosmith. I mean, surely when Disney picked Aerosmith to be the band for this roller coaster, they knew what they were getting into. Aerosmith is not exactly Disney. Aerosmith is rock and roll, rude, lewd, crude. I mean, come on. And honestly, 17 years, he's right. I mean, why wait 17 years to take out the gesture? Disney put that video together. Disney knew it. So, sorry, Disney. In this case, Steven Tyler does have a good point. Why did you wait? If you knew about this gesture already, why wait 17 years? Why not take it out right when you put the clip in? I mean, it just seems kind of silly to change it now, obviously. I mean, were there really that many complaints about it? So, sorry, Disney. I love you. I think you're cool. But in this case, I think maybe you went a little overboard with the censorship. I understand it, but if there weren't that many complaints, you should have just left the video as it was. I mean, people are going on this roller coaster for a reason, and it's probably because it's not as Disney as what you want it to be. Excuse me. So, sorry, Disney. I'm with Aerosmith on this one. So that's it for Disney news. On to Pokemon. It seems like every week I do one of these things, I'm talking about Pokemon because they release new videos, new trailers like crazy. This week alone, they released like 2. One of which they just simply released like a 34-second trailer introducing a new Pokemon called Tortoise or something. It's a giant turtle with spikes. Not like the cool little hedgehog with the spikes that I want to keep and I want to pet and I want to hug it and love it. No, this thing is a giant turtle, and it has like this special move where it's like it gets hit and it's like shell does something and it goes boom, and I didn't really pay attention to it. Like I said, I'm more drawn to the cuter Pokemon, the dragon, the fairy, the electric type. I'm not really a big fan of the ground, so the turtle one was like, really? No. But after that, they introduced 4 new Pokemon, which, yay, guess what? Ah, dang it, the glare. I forgot the glare. The first one is a fighting type Pokemon named Craballer. I don't think it's gonna work too well. There we go. Trying. Yeah, the glare is really killing it. Craballer, he's basically he's a crab with a big pompadour. And he's a fighting type. The entrance is he really has a personality that hates to lose, is driven not only to aim for a higher position than its follows in terms of social standing, but literally to aim for a higher position in the landscape. They like berries, and it uses its claws to protect its face and belly. The second Pokemon they introduced was a grass-ground combination called Sandygast. There. I'm doing my best, but it's not. There we go. Sandygast, and then its evolved form, Polos Sand. Oh, jeez, this glare is killing me. There we go. Which is also, of course, sand and ghosts. Really creepy, the whole haunted castle, sandcastle thing. Basically, for Sandygast, it says, the Sandygast emerges when the grudges of Pokemon and other creatures soak into the sand after they fall in battle. In essence, it's a possessed lump of sand. And then for Polo Sand controls human adults, making them build a sandcastle that provides camouflage and also raises its defensive ability. Unlike Sandygast, if Polo Sand loses some of the sand from its body, it can restore itself on its own. Its sandy vortex swallows them up in a heartbeat. Pokemon dragged into Palo Sand leaves traces of their ill will behind. It's thought that this new negative energy may be the starting point of new Sandygast. Creepy! Oh my gosh, the ghost Pokemon can sometimes be really, really creepy and dark. And let's not forget, in the United States, Pokemon was started out being generally marketed towards kids. Okay, kids. That's like when they started marketing Clone Wars. Clone Wars was dark, kind of spooky, kind of really dark with lots of battles and dying and stuff like that. And how did Cartoon Network market it? Not towards all Star Wars fans as a whole. No, it was a kid show that aired at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Seriously. Again, most of the marketing for Pokemon is done towards kids. Okay, so let's take this Pokemon and say, oh, here's this really cool Pokemon. By the way, this Pokemon is sand that's possessed by the ill will and vengeful spirits of other Pokemon. Really? It's like, okay, that doesn't take a genius to realize. Oh my gosh, I really don't understand. But then again, this is the issue with stuff from Japan when it first started coming to America. People who bought this stuff and said, okay, we can take this and broadcast it on Western televisions. It's a cartoon, so that must mean it's for kids. Really? Anime in Japan is not just for kids. I will never forget going to an anime day at my local library, and they showed 2 anime movies, the first of which was Princess Mononoke, which I had seen before. I've been into anime since I was a little kid, and when I grew up and understood more about anime, I knew the expectations. So I knew what Princess Mononoke was going into, what I was getting into with Princess Mononoke when I went to go see it at my local library. 1, because I already seen it, and 2, I knew that anime does not mean cute, fluffy creatures. It means battles, it means blood, it means guts and gore. This woman came in with these 2 kids, like 6 and 7, thinking Princess Mononoke was going to be this cute, cool, fluffy, fun anime. Wrong! Within the first 15 minutes of the movie, you see like a boar get its head graphically chopped off at the neck. It's like, really? She promptly stood up, took the 2 boys, and walked out. And all those teens were looking at her going, why did you bring the kids here in the first place? So, that's my rant. Sorry about that. But the last Pokemon they introduced, I love. It's a normal fighting type Pokemon called Stuffle! Look, if I can get it. The glare to work. Bad glare. Okay, not working. There we go. It's a bear! It's a stuffed bear, and if you watch the video, you can see the little tag. It has a little tag on the back. It's like, it's so cute. And I was talking to my brother, and he's like, yeah, I would have thought that was the one you would go for. And I'm like, hey, it's so cute and fluffy. I want to hug it and squeeze it and take care of it and name it Bob. So yay, Stuffle's my favorite so far. It's actually the pre-evolved form of another Pokemon that was introduced earlier that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it. But yay, Stuffle, cute, fluffy, me love it. Super cute, super happy, super excited. I've talked with my brother a few times about this, and I mentioned that I can't tell yet if there's going to be a gym challenge or something with the introduction of those island challenges where you go around to the different islands. My brother's of opinion that the island challenge is actually like Battle Frontier, in that it's something you do after you finish the game for the first time. So it might still be the round of gym battles and stuff, and this island challenge might be something they throw in at the end after you beat it. So, and it would also be interesting. My brother's like, he's thinking that they're going to make the game easier. I don't understand how they can make Pokemon easier than what they have. The one thing that bugged me is when they changed it to Pokemon X and Y, changing it to where your Pokemon get experience points when you capture Pokemon. That is really that bugs me a little bit, because because you get experience point, because originally you got experience points when the Pokemon you were battling fainted. A captured Pokemon is not a defeated Pokemon, you just captured it. So, excuse me. So I really don't see how you should get experience points for a Pokemon you captured. You didn't defeat it. So, but yeah, my brother's a little worried they're gonna make Pokemon easier. So Pokemon, Criminal Minds, Disney. Now it's time to end on a little bit of a somber note. For all you Star Wars fans, I'm sure you heard that this past week we lost a member of the Star Wars family in Kenny Baker, who brought everyone's favorite droid and wannabe best friend R2-D2 to life. I found out on Monday when I was at the fair, and I grabbed a newspaper and it was on the back page, and I was upset because R2 is my favorite droid, and as much as I love Chopper and as much as I love BB-8, I've always stood by my fact that if droids were real, if I could have a droid, then I would pick R2 over anybody, because he's loyal, he's got the greatest personality in the world, and he's just awesome. And all that was because of Kenny Baker, the guy who played him in the originals. He brought this droid to life, and I think if it wasn't for Kenny Baker, R2 wouldn't be that feisty, loyal droid that we all know and love. He wouldn't have such a huge following. There wouldn't be an R2-D2 Builders Club. There wouldn't be droids like Chopper or BB-8. And it just says a lot. He died. Kenny Baker died Saturday, and the tributes are just pouring in. George Lucas said Kenny Baker was a real gentleman, as well as an incredible trooper who always worked under difficult circumstances, a talented vaudevillian who could always make everybody laugh. Kenny was truly the heart and soul of R2-D2 and will be missed by all his friends and everyone who knew him. And what's funny is I watched, there's this really cool documentary VH1 Day called When Star Wars Ruled the World. And Kenny Baker talked about how they would put him inside R2-D2, and then they would break for lunch and forget he was in there. So, and then, he was in other Star Wars. He was in R2-D2 for the first 6 Star Wars films, and he also played Paplo and Ewok, who steals a bike in Return of the Jedi. He wasn't in Force Awakens, but he was a consultant. He was credited as R2 consultant. It's really awesome. Mark Hamill posted on Twitter, "Goodbye, Kenny Baker, a lifelong loyal friend. I loved his optimism and determination. He was the droid I was looking for." Ewan McGregor, "So sorry to hear about this. It was lovely working with Kenny. So." Anthony Daniels, of course, who was probably one of the closest to Kenny, because Anthony plays 3PO, said, "Sad to hear of Kenny's passing. one of the truly original cast, so famed for his iconic role as R2, he'll always be remembered by so many fans. It's just really sad. So, yeah, it's kind of a shock. I mean, I know we're getting up to that point. Next year will be the 40th anniversary of the first Star Wars movie, now called A New Hope. And a lot of the crew members who worked on the film have gone. Sir Alec Guinness passed away years ago, so it's just sad. I mean, now I'm coming to this realization that a lot of the actors I know are getting up there in ages. So Kenny Baker is really the first one where it's like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. He brought one of my favorite characters to life, and now he's gone. So it's kind of sad. It makes me realize how older I'm getting, that I thought sometimes I forget that behind these characters are people, and unlike the characters that only move forward a little or don't seem to age, the people behind them do. So my thoughts and prayers are with Kenny's family, and wherever he is, I'm sure he's in heaven, because that's the only place for a loyal friend like him to go. Thank you, Kenny Baker, for bringing to life one of my all-time favorite characters, and a character who to me is the very definition of friendship and loyalty and determination and courage no matter what. So, thank you, Kenny Baker, and we'll miss you. Anyway, I'm Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl, pop culture nerd, and wannabe Jedi. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. And instead of saying may the force be with you, well, may the force be with Kenny wherever he is.